Tell me, what's all this commotion about?
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
Reports of strong interference with radio.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you live from both Southern California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch, and my friend on the other end of the mic, his name is Denton. What's going on, dude?
Well, I'm not just coming from anywhere in Alabama. I'm also coming from Southern Alabama.
Oh, well, I'm Southern California. You're Southern Alabama.
I'll have to call this East L.A.
Why East L.A.?
Well, I'm in the southeastern corner of Alabama.
Oh, well, I'm sure your East L.A. and my East L.A. are very different.
There are no fuzzy dices on our rearview mirrors, so I suppose you're right. Yeah. So how you been doing?
Do you have taco carts on every corner?
No, I wish we did.
Selling corn cob with mayonnaise?
What?
That's I don't know. They like corn on the cob with mayonnaise.
Oh my gosh!
And their carts.
I never saw that. No, I don't think I ever want to see that.
And their carts are not refrigerated, so you do the math on that one.
No, I don't think I will. No, but I would love to have a breakfast burrito right now.
Funny you should say that. I was just making breakfast burritos for tomorrow morning.
Oh wow!
Love me a good breakfast burrito.
Those are good things. So what's been going on? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, there's so much to talk about. Let's see.
Bill Wright, one of our very, very ardent fans.
Hi, Bill.
Does not want to hear the first thing about Russian collusion.
All right. Well, we won't talk about that until a little bit later then.
Now, he is backed up by a man named Scott Smith.
Yes.
Who is heavily armed and has the attitude to back up his weapons. No Russian collusion.
All right. Well, they can turn down the volume when we start talking about Russian collusion.
You're going to get me killed, aren't you?
If I can.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we're going to talk a little bit about the memo, also the Super Bowl, and then we have some other junk we're going to throw in there as well. But yeah, fun show today.
Well, the memo's getting really close to Russian collusion, so let's be careful because I'm too young and pretty to die.
That's true. You are young.
And young.
No, I just wanted to throw this out really quick because I find it kind of funny. Found this story. All across Southern California and the rest of the country, record numbers of college students are seeking mental help and emotional counseling to help deal with the stresses of life. A 2013 survey from Rand Corp found that 1 in 5 California college students reported having psychological distress within the last 30 days, a rate that's more than 5 times higher than the general population. Looking at things nationally, there was a 30% jump in the number of students looking for help between 2009 and 2015. I don't know who this quote's by, but there's a full-blown mental health crisis going on. The numbers are really troubling. They're huge. To me, it's not an issue, it's the issue. Some have economic woes, while others arrive on campus with previously diagnosed mental health conditions like bipolar disorder. During the 2016-17 school year at UC Irvine, 2,555 students made counseling appointments, a 64% increase from 5 years earlier. Over the same period, the can't handle the stresses of life.
Oh, my gosh. My heart bleeds for them. May 28th, 1982, I graduated from high school. June the 2nd, 1982, I was in basic training with some big fellas in BDUs and round brown Smoking the Bear hats yelling at me and make me do countless numbers of push-ups. My heart bleeds for these pieces of stuff. You can't handle life. You know what? Jump start a shotgun. I didn't say that, did I? Yeah, well, you know what? Brian, Denton ain't opening up no therapy place, okay? Look, if you can't handle what is their problem? They're in college?
Yep.
What's causing them such angst? that they can't handle life, that they're in college.
Well, I think a lot of it is they've been told that they can't handle anything, and they've been sheltered their entire lives. So now they get into college, the real world, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
College ain't the real world. I've been to college too. I got out of the military. I went to college. It was boring. Boring.
No, yeah, but I mean, they're kind of out on their own for the first time, I'm thinking.
Oh, gosh, they don't know how to handle a kegger?
Yeah, that was real tough.
Oh, my.
No,
See,
you know
this
what?
is disgusting. This is where we're at in this society now, where these people are going to be Sasquatch.
Yes.
These people are going to be running the country when we're old.
Scary, ain't it?
Oh, more than scary.
The reason you weren't stressed out back then, because you were too tired to be stressed out. I mean, do a couple hundred push-ups and sit-ups and some running, and you don't have time for stress. You're too tired. You want to sleep. Maybe that's what these kids...
And we did sleep. We slept for 4.5 hours. It was great.
Maybe that's what these kids need, is just more exercise.
It was a Dolly Parton, I think it was. It's talking about this ADD thing. That they didn't have ADD back when she was a kid. They just got the butt spanked, and they were told to go out there and swing in the swing set.
Pretty much.
So what are these kids going to do? Did this article give an example of what they should do? What's the end result of this?
No, let's see here. I don't think there really is any. They're just saying that they're basically saying these kids are pussies. Some have economic woes while others arrive on campus with previous... Oh, I already read that part. Yeah, the same thing is happening at schools all over Southern California, including USC, UCLA, Claremont colleges, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it doesn't... It's just saying it's happening. It doesn't tell what they're going to do about it. They're not going to do anything about it. They'll give
economic woes.
They'll give them a coloring book and a safety pin and a blanket, and everything will be right with the world.
Oh, I remember back when I was in basic training at AIT. It was towards the end of basic training, and I'm in the chow hall line, and I pointed at something in there, and I said, "What is that?" And the mess sergeant says, "That's steak." That's not steak. What is that? He goes, "A steak, son. I'm telling you, it's steak." "No, that's not steak. What is that?" "Boy, I ain't gonna tell you again. It's steak." And I told him, "No, I was just a little basic trainee." I said, "No. That ain't steak. I know what steak is. Steak is round and has a red rind around it. That ain't steak." Baloney. Get it? Talk about poor. South Alabama poor. Poor. These people, what are these kids whining about? There was no gimme things for me. There was a gimme ass whooping if I acted wrong, but other than that, oh my gosh, these are the people that's going to be ruling the country. Well, we are so doomed.
Counseling we used to get, if I were to go, cry to my parents, I don't have any money and I don't know what to do with my life and blah, blah, blah. My dad would look at me and go, "You best figure it out." Mm-hmm. That was our counseling.
Yeah, that's good counseling out there. Use your brain.
Pretty much.
Now, we didn't have money when I was a kid, but we didn't know it. My brother and I, we didn't know it.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I didn't know we were poor.
Yeah. But these people somehow know they're poor. They're disadvantaged. They don't have what somebody else has.
Because they've been told their entire lives that they're disadvantaged and they're victims.
Mentally victims, or... That is a very good question there. What is the standard for normalcy? Where do you say, okay, this is where everybody should be? This is the Brady Bunch level.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd be interested to find out. Ask some of these kids, okay, what would make your life all right?
Because the homeless have cell phones nowadays. I mean, what is it? There were no cell phones when I was growing up. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have any of this stuff nowadays. But this is considered something that everybody should have. It's a right to be able to be wired into the internet.
Is it wrong that I wish I could get rid of mine?
No, that's normal. That is an indication that you're sane and intelligent.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, you are what you are. And we are what we are. And we are where we're at. And my golly, if you don't drink, why not? That's just kind of sad. These little kids are feeling troubled in college.
This is why I encourage everybody to learn Chinese.
No doubt, because they're going to take over and they're going to kill each and every one of us. And the only way you're going to have a chance of surviving is if at least you know their language so you can plead for your life and try to explain to them how you are a benefit to them.
Yeah.
Problem is, most of us aren't.
I could see these college kids. Oh, please don't hurt me. I have mental illness. Pop.
Oh, yeah. Bill Wright, Scott Smith, and Tim Murray is going to love this.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening. All right, let's move on to something more important. Super Bowl, did you watch?
Am I red blood?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, a lot of people were boycotting because of the taking a knee thing going on. I don't know if you watched or not for sure.
Well, I did not watch it. No.
You didn't watch it at all? Nothing?
I did not. I mean, I read about it afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well,
I was kind of happy that Philadelphia Eagles won.
I guess we don't have a lot to talk about then. I only said
good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night. Thanks for drink up. No, I only watched a little bit here and there. I mean, I turned it on for a little bit just to kind of see what was going on. And I don't want to talk about the game so much. I guess it was a good game, high scoring, yay. But the commercials that I saw were just so, I don't even know the word for it, pandering. It was almost every single commercial was, we support first responders. Please help us in supporting first responders. First responders are great. It's like, okay, we know this. What's your point?
What about the Dodge commercial I heard about?
Yeah, that's some controversy with that one. I guess they used Martin Luther King's speech or a speech in the background. But From what I heard, they got the permission from his camp to use it. So I don't know what anybody has to scream about.
Well, it was over the top pandering, I would say. I mean, I didn't watch it. I just read about it, and I saw what they said in the commercial. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a... What does that got to do with a Dodge?
Huh?
What does that have to do with a Dodge?
Oh, well, exactly. I mean, that's the same with all the first responder stuff. I mean, it was everybody. And it's like, I mean, a few years ago, it was all military. Oh, thank you for your service, and thank you for keeping our freedom, and blah, blah, blah. And now to me, it takes away from the actual message of being thankful for what they do, because it's forced. I mean, it's so forced. There were those commercials, and then the other commercials were diversity commercials, where they would show, like, one of them was a bunch of different colored babies, and at the very end, I mean, I don't even remember what the company was, but they showed all these little babies. I mean, all real cute, little black babies, little Asian babies, little white babies, little Hispanic babies, all these little babies laying there smiling, cute as could be. And at the very end, it said something like, "We're all in this together." And I'm thinking, yeah, so we know this.
Well, the important thing is, they were saying that they could grow up to love whoever they wanted to love.
Oh, was that what it was about?
That was what it was all about. All you little babies, you can grow up to be what you want to be. You're not gender restrained. You can be whatever gender you want to be. And the little Asian babies sitting there thinking, okay, you little peckerheads, you keep on playing that game. I am going to kick your ass with my intellect. Because everybody knows the Asians will kick our ass with their intellect while we're confused.
Well, and the thing is, the commercial, it seemed like it went on forever, and they just kept showing baby after baby. And the whole time I'm sitting there watching, going, all right, when's the baby with the cleft palate going to be on here? How about the one, this probably isn't the right term, but mongoloid. And it wasn't. So it's like, you guys failed at diversity. You didn't have any handicapped kids in there.
No, they didn't. But the thing I was paying attention, I did see that commercial, not on then, but I saw it on YouTube. But I'm thinking here, and I think this is kind of important. The little Asian baby is going to grow up to be successful because the little Asian baby has an IQ to adapt to whatever it's going to see.
Well,
and its parents are going to take care of it and make sure that it has got some sense about it, and that it can succeed in this world.
That's what I was going to say. Most likely, the Asian baby's parents are going to force them to learn something and to make something of themselves.
Yeah, but See, now you say force, and I see it as a positive thing, and I know you see it as a positive thing, but a lot of people, some people who may listen to us may not see it that way. But you know what? As a baby, as an infant, as a child, as a teenager, you're an idiot. Well, okay? You need parents to force you to do the right things, which is something that Asians understand.
Well,
now the Caucasian people, obviously, are idiots. They're idiots at any age. That's why our country is going to hell in a handbasket.
Just because you mentioned that, like, I remember as a kid, my parents telling me to eat my vegetables, put a jacket on when you go outside. Just all the little things the parents tell you, and you think, shut up, Mom and Dad, you don't know anything. You're stupid. Why are you bugging me? But now that I'm older, I look back and go, thank God they did all that stuff because I'm not an idiot now.
Yes. But see, the Asian kid will learn that their parents aren't stupid younger than we did.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, so this is the, I hate football to begin with. I do. I think it's retarded. These guys make millions of dollars playing a kid's game, as we all hear it before. But that's the case. And then you have all these commercials at halftime. And they have that gender neutral, what's her name, Pink?
Is she gender neutral?
Yeah. She's gender neutral. She is, should I call her she or should I call her Z or P or what am I supposed to call it a little bit?
Well, she is married to a guy, so I'm pretty sure.
But is he a guy?
He's a motocross.
So now,
he's a motocross rider.
Huh?
He's a motocross rider.
Yes, but now you just pegged him in a gender. Can you do that nowadays?
Well, probably not, but.
Well, you trying to say that she's and he's and shits or whatever they call it, in-betweens, can't ride motorcycles? How dare you?
You know what? You're right. I need to go to the gulag for a couple months. The re-education camp.
Training. So, but she sang, and I understand she had the flu, and she's still sang the, oh gosh, I just had a brain fart.
National anthem.
National anthem. Thank you. But at least she did do that, and she didn't take a knee when she did it. I'll say that about her.
Yeah. The girl's got a voice. She can definitely sing, that's for sure.
Yeah, from what I read, because I did not see any of the stuff, but they said she belted it out. Belted it out. So that must be good.
Yep.
Or bad.
You know what? Real quick, just to sort of end the Super Bowl segment, because we could drone on about this forever. But
no, I can't.
Real quick, everybody out there listening, who was in the Super Bowl 3 years ago? Yeah, that's right. I didn't think so. You didn't know. So same with
football teams.
Yeah, same with the Super Bowl. You'll forget in a week. So anyway, moving on. Hey, check this out. The House Intelligence Committee voted to release a Democratic rebuttal to a GOP document that accused the FBI of misleading a secret surveillance court, setting up the possible confrontation with President Trump. The GOP's 4-page memo released last week by the Republican-led committee accuses the FBI of improperly using information from an ex-British spy during the 2016 election to justify a FISA warrant to surveil former Trump advisor Carter Page. Democrats have criticized the GOP and blah, blah, blah. The Democrat memo is 10 pages of rebuttal.
10 pages. 10 pages to 4 pages?
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Wow.
Let me try something real quick.
All right.
This may be really stupid, but it got me thinking while I was reading this. Okay. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
In a world where House Intelligence Committee voted to release the Democrat rebuttal to the GOP court that accused the FBI of misleading a secret and surveillance court. This year, coming to theaters near you, Tom Cruise in The Memo.
All right. I got that out of my system.
Feel better?
Yeah, when I was reading that, it sounded like a movie trailer.
No, well, I can understand.
So they got 10 pages of rebuttal where basically they're going to say, nuh-uh, none of that stuff's true, nuh-uh.
Well, the memo was there was such hype before it was released.
Yeah.
But even before it was released, I'm sure I'm not the only person that's thinking it's a memo. What is a memo?
Well,
a memo is not documented cases of this, that, and the other, and backed up with this. It's a memo. And so after a while, I was thinking, would you just release a memo, please? Just get it out of your system. Do it. And after it came out, I read it, and I said, yeah, we knew this already. Those of us who've been paying attention, we were thinking, we know this. Now give us the meat and taters. We don't have the meat and taters yet. We just have Devin Nunes saying that this is what we already knew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I got to say. What do you want?
Well, I mean, it's basically a chess game going on right now, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins because, the GOP released Devin Nunes' memo. Now the Democrats have their 10-page rebuttal memo, which they both mean absolutely nothing, but basically, all right, this is what you say what happened. Now show us, prove to us. Prove it.
Exactly.
And until somebody can prove it either way, on their side or our side, it means nothing.
Now, I feel like it's going to be a game point for us.
Why do you say that?
Because we're the good guys. Okay, we know.
The good guys always win.
Well, I like to think that, yes. But we know the establishment lies. We know that these people are corrupt.
Well, and not to mention the Democrats are running around like roaches with the light just turned on. So that tells me that they're a little bit worried.
Yeah, and so I would like to think we're going to win this, but it's between how bad are the facts and popular position.
Yeah. Well, and it's very important that we do win this. That's why I'm hoping Nunes is doing the right thing and has stuff to back this all up, because the liberal Marxists, that's what I like to call them, they've infiltrated education, so that's theirs. They can do what they want with it. They've infiltrated media. That's theirs. They can do what they want with it. The final piece of the puzzle to them is infiltrating the FBI, the DOJ, all the alphabet agencies, and weaponizing them, and it kind of looks like they've done it. So if we don't take care of this, we're in a world of hurt.
Well, you know what? Being the conspiracy theorist for decades that I have been, I'm not surprised by that.
No, I'm not either. I mean, it's our own fault for letting them do it.
But how are we supposed to know this? I mean, you go through your life. I go through my life. We don't have time. We don't have the time. We don't have the security clearance or the need to know to see what they're doing.
Well, no, you and I, okay, we are a little bit at fault, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's not mainly our fault. It is our representatives' fault, but it is our fault for putting those representatives in there that didn't watch these people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I can almost go for it. Now, I say I can almost go for it because we, the people, we, the idiots, is probably the better way of looking at it. We don't know these things. We don't know that the establishment is in so deep that they're in control of the hierarchy of the FBI, the CIA, everybody. Mm. And well, most people don't think of that when they think of the FBI. People think of the rank and file FBI agents. Is what they think of when they think of the FBI. They don't think of the people who are controlling the FBI agents that we think of. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
so we don't, as a people, think of the politics of the FBI.
Well, and there are politics. I mean, it happens everywhere. Our own jobs, there's politics. There's certain people you can talk to certain ways, and certain people trying to backstab other certain people. So, I mean, it is everywhere. So to say that, oh, no, that doesn't happen in the FBI is just plain BS, because it does. It happens everywhere.
Oh, of course. But you want to think of the FBI as a bunch of people who are above all that, which obviously they're not. And then they've never been above the politics.
Well, I mean,
and neither has the CIA.
No, I mean, it's the FBI has been politicized since what, Hoover, if not before that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this really should be no surprise to anybody. It's just a surprise because it's working against us. I think is why it's such a surprise.
When you say it's working against us, it's working against us who love the Constitution and appreciate our freedoms and liberties that the Constitution affords. So actually, God gave us, and the Constitution is supposed to protect.
Yes.
But politics, as it is, has gone stupid.
Unfortunately, yes.
Speaking of germs.
You mean all those ones in Washington?
Yes, them and everywhere else. Speaking of germs, where do you travel?
Not as much as I used to, but occasionally.
Do you travel by air?
Haven't in quite a while.
Me neither, because I don't like to be groped or, dare I say, raped by the TSA.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. You know, when I want to travel, I just soon get in a car. I have the steering wheel. No, I'm not going to use one of those steering wheelless cars. I'm going to be in control.
Well, and the TSA gets so mad when I try to bring my bazooka on the plane.
They are such pussies, aren't they? I mean, really. Jeez. What's a bazooka amongst friends?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure, you could poke a window out, but, you know, they can drop down to 14,000 feet or so, and it'll be okay, but never mind. But that's the least of your concerns. Germs. Germs will kill you dead, and you can't even see them. You don't have to be a germaphobe to want to slip on rubber gloves when you enter an airplane cabin. A new study confirms once again that the various surfaces in the cabin of a commercial plane have many times the amount of bacteria than the average kitchen counter. Now, I'm sure you know what all the food products that goes on a kitchen counter, it gets kind of germy. Mm-hmm. But the latest study found that surfaces in airport terminals can have even higher germs counts than those in a plane. The highest number of colony-forming units of bacteria per inch were found on those increasingly popular self-serve ticket kiosks that are popping up in every terminal around the country, including the one you should be worried about, Los Angeles International Airport.
Well, I'm not.
Now, that makes sense.
I'm not worried because I don't go there.
Well, I don't blame you.
But that could be where the zombie apocalypse starts, LAX.
You know, before I read this, I've flown. I don't plan on ever flying again if I can keep from doing it. But I've flown. I never thought of it. But think about it. You touched that kiosk. Mm-hmm. So did everybody else.
Yep.
Now, imagine every place that somebody else's hand could have gone that you wouldn't want it to go. Okay, we'll give you about 3 seconds to think about that.
Well, everybody
you should be done by now.
Everybody that's ever been in an airport has, at one time, sat next to or stood next to somebody that smelled. And, yeah, they didn't smell for good reasons. So, I mean, you can guess, multiply that by however many people are going through the airports. Yeah, there's some germs in there.
A bazillion people have touched that kiosk before you did. Now, do you think those people, the people who work in the airports, ever wipe the kiosk down?
I doubt it. I mean, every time I've ever been in an airport, I have never seen anybody cleaning anything. I see the trash getting emptied. That's about it.
Yeah, same here. Now, I would keep my hands to myself until I got to the nearest bar and sat down and ordered a drink. I would touch that glass because I know that glass was cleaned.
Well, you hope.
Well, I damn sure. You know what? Man, I don't ever want to touch a glass again. Thank you very much, Sass.
Just bring a flask. It's easier.
Yeah, no doubt. The folks from website insurancequotes.com conducted a swab test, like we needed to know this, all right?
Ew.
On the surfaces of 3 major airports and 3 airliners and calculated the bacteria or fungal cell counts for several surfaces. The website declined to disclose the names of the airports and the airlines that they tested. What? You got information on these people and you didn't tell us who they were? What is that all about?
Just assume it's all of them.
Yeah, that's the best way to. Everybody's out to kill you. The highest germ counts in the planes were on the flush bottom on the toilets. 95,145 colony-forming units, followed by 11,959 CFUs on the tray tables and 1,106 CFUs on the seat buckles. Oh my gosh, things, the safety devices who are supposed to keep you from dying are killing you, according to a study. The typical kitchen counter measures 361 CFU, according to the National Science Foundation. So now the typical kitchen counter measures 361. The little buckle you touched, 1,116. You are freaking dead if you fly. Now, my son flies more than he drives nowadays because of his job. I hope my name is on his insurance policies because he's going to die.
Hey, you need to get one of those decontamination things like they had in Silkwood, like at your front door. So when your son comes through, you can douse him with, some ammonia or something, kill everything before he gets in the house.
No doubt, because he's going to kill us all. He's bringing the stuff. By now, he's probably immune to everything.
Yep.
He ain't dead yet. He was here this last week, and he looked very healthy. And he flies all the time, which means he is immune to everything. He doesn't need any vaccinations. They should draw his blood.
Study the boy.
Okay. Yeah. Make vaccines out of his blood. Blood. Just crazy. Anyway, speaking of which, you know what? Some of the filthiest things you're going to come across.
I had a thought run through my mind, but I'll just keep it to myself.
Immigrants.
That wasn't it, but all right.
Think about it. We live in a very, other than in airports, we Americans are very sanitary. I mean, everywhere you go, you got this hand sanitizer. You go to Walmart, you got hand sanitizer. You go to Sam, hand sanitizer. You go to Public, hand sanitizer. Everything has hand sanitizers attached to the walls.
Yeah, but that's a bad thing.
Well, I agree with that. But that's okay because you know what? We have these things called immigrants coming to this country that will make us immune to other diseases, or they'll bring something that will kill us.
Oh, like polio or any of those other things we got rid of years ago?
Who needs to walk? Okay, you got cars, you got golf carts, you got other ways of getting around. You don't need a leg. You can get around without it.
I tend to think I would look very striking in a iron lung.
Well, Trump's pick for UN migration chief said Christians should be top priority.
How dare that person say that?
Isn't that crazy? Christians who would understand our ethics, morals, and principles, who would have the basic understanding of how we formed our nation? That's crazy. Bring in the Muslims. They'll understand nothing. But President Trump's nominee to lead the UN efforts to assist migrants around the world has suggested that Muslims are violent. Where in the hell did he get that idea? How dare he say Muslims are violent? And he said that Christians in dangerous areas should be given preferential resettlement treatment per the Washington Post, which reviewed his past social media posts and radio appearances. Okay, so the Washington Post is against us or for it? I don't know. But I think he makes a very good point. If you're going to bring people over from the Middle East, bring people over here that will understand our rights. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I have a better suggestion. Let's just stop bringing people over, period.
Oh, you can't do that.
Then we're not playing favorites to anybody. It's just like, nope, true. None of you can come.
Well, here's the thing. Now, let me get some water here because I can feel them. My mouth is already getting dry. And yes, that's water. We, Americans, have forgotten how to fornicate. Sorry.
Wait, fornicate or procreate?
Well, one leads to the other. But then again, as we already mentioned before, and I think it was the last podcast, our sperm count's gone to hell in a handbasket.
Well, probably because we're getting all the germs at the airport.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Now, because of the fact that we are not procreating like we should, but we still want to continue to have a nation that is prospering and has a workforce, we need people. Funny thing about manufacturing facilities, they need people to operate them for the time being. Now, we need people from somewhere because we have a low sperm count. Now, Middle East doesn't seem to have a low sperm count. Okay, well, fine. Let's bring some folks over from the Middle East. Now, why not bring folks over here that don't want to kill us? Why can't we bring people over here that actually want to live amongst us in the nation that our founding fathers built, they formed? Is it so bad to say we want to prefer Christians over these dadgum beheading type idiot Muslims?
Yeah, but that doesn't cause the chaos that the liberals want, so.
Why do liberals want chaos? I thought they were all about kumbaya and live in harmony and that kind of crap.
Oh, nay. That's just their cover. That's just their cover.
Well, apparently some people are all in an uproar about this. Later on, this fellow, his name's Isaacs. Isaacs apologized for his remarks in a statement issued by the State Department to the Post, saying it was careless and it caused some concern among those who have expressed faith in my ability to effectively lead IOM, which is the migration thing of the United Nations. State said it would continue to support his candidacy. Well, good. They should support him. I like him. I think he'll be great. And I agree with them. Bring Christians. They're being tormented. They're being persecuted. They're being slaughtered and enslaved in the Middle East. Bring them here. At least we don't have to teach them the Ten Commandments.
Well, really what that whole story was about was more resistance and obstruction to Trump, because basically what they did is Trump put his person forward and they went back and dug around until they could find anything bad about him, and then they brought it forward, which is what they always do.
Well, they're good at that. They really are. Now, if they could do something that would be important to the country, it'd be even better, but at least they're good at something.
No, obstruction is the only important thing. Resistance. Viva la resistance.
Viva la resistance. You know what? That's funny because Bill Wright and I were talking before we left work, and he even said, why don't they just leave? Because this whole Russian collusion. Why don't they just leave him alone and let him do his job? And your response to that was what?
They don't want him to do his job.
Exactly. But we have some bright news here. The DNC should, under almost any other leadership, be raising more money hand over fist. They have a hostile president who almost delights in polarization, a progressive wing that fancies itself a resistance, and billionaires who want to keep fighting the last election. Democrat congressional committees have remained competitive in fundraising, although Republicans have shown a considerable improvement in their efforts, even with a relatively unpopular president as the public face of the party. Which, by the way, that's bullshit.
All right, why?
Trump is not unpopular.
Well,
the media wants to say he's unpopular. The polls always they want to make it the wording around when you answer the phone and they say, we have some questions for you and that kind of stuff. It's misleading, and they can twist it any way they want to.
Yeah,
Trump is not unpopular.
They call you up and they say, what do you think of Trump? Worst president ever or the worst president ever? And you're like, well,
yeah.
wait, what?
He's gaining in popularity with the black population. Why? Because he's bringing the meat to them, which is jobs, and they appreciate that. And believe it or not, the blacks have, when I was growing up, I don't know when you were growing up, where you're growing up, but when I was growing up, the blacks that were older than me, they were very disciplined, they were very moral, they were very righteous people. You know, this didn't fade away. I mean, I know that in some places it has, Baltimore, but there are places where they continued their way of thinking with the next kids. Now, they have been diluted in their brain cells through public education, but when they see somebody like Trump come along and then he's proven what he said he was going to do, these people are saying, that's my man right there. You know, so he's gaining in population with the black population. So that's a good thing, you know. But the important thing to me is with the Democrat Party is this report is nothing short of a disaster, having $6.1 million in debt and only 6.3 million cash on hand. Okay, let's do some math here. 6.1 million in debt and 6.3 million in cash on hand. That's like a $0.2 million difference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how can we lose? Debt means interest payments after all, which will eventually overtake the cash on hand position, and probably sooner than later. The DNC has to be able to spend The DNC has to be able to spend to set up fundraising, and right now that looks iffy. So the DNC is going broke, is what I'm trying to say, people.
Well, you know why they're going broke, right?
They're idiots. Fiscally irresponsible.
Yeah, I mean, that has a lot to do with it. But no, it's because of all the sexual assault cases that they're having to pay out.
No. I thought those things came from the government, not from the DNC.
I don't know. I'm just making funny.
Oh, sorry. Didn't catch it. Meanwhile, the RNC raises $132.5 million in 2017. Now, what I think they're doing, the DNC has been making some bad bets, like the place over in Georgia where they threw millions and millions of dollars to beat a Republican and they lost. Mm-hmm. Now, losers don't make any money. You know, you make this bet, you throw a bunch of money over there and you lose. Who's going to say, I'm going to throw some more money at this loser?
Well, just remember the ace in their back pocket, though, George Soros. Good old Uncle Moneybags.
Well, he's got to run out of money sometime.
I hope he runs out of a lot more than money.
You mean time on this earth?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? Let me ask you a question. Have you heard anything about the Dreamers?
No, yes, no.
Wow.
See, I should be a liberal. I can say one thing while saying another.
Well, you could be a politician of either stripe. It doesn't matter. That's pretty good.
That's all that they've been screaming about lately, but I'm sure you have something new for us, so enlighten us.
Well, kind of. Yeah, if we'd have made that podcast yesterday, it'd been more, fresh, but it's not going to be fresh now. But a couple of fellows, one is named Coons. No, that's not some kind of racial slur. His name's Coons, I guess. And another fellow's name's McCain. Have you heard of McCain?
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, apparently Coons and McCain have come up with a Dreamer bill.
Sounds like a bad TV pilot. Coming this fall to NBC, Coons and McCain.
One's Irish and the other one's, anyway. Yeah, they came up with a Dreamer bill.
Oh, let me guess. Give the Dreamers everything, let them in, and give the GOP nothing. Well,
yes. Pretty much, yeah. Even more. I mean, I thought Trump's thing of, 800,000? Bull crap. 1.8 million. I'm going to make it so insane that not even the Democrats can believe I just said that. Well, these guys have gone even worse. They even want more, but they're forgetting one little simple thing.
That they don't have a say in the matter?
The wall.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course. Well, I mean, you construct a wall or do anything to keep more from coming, that just cuts off their voter base. So, of course, they don't want that.
Oh, yeah. And so they don't want the wall. They have nothing in that bill that will fund the wall. Everything else can be funded. You can fund these kids, say kids, 28, 30 years old, who cares? You can fund them for their dentals, the braces, their education, everything else. We can afford all this crap. Bring them on, bring more people. They can bring the great grandmothers, and we'll bury them even if they're dead before they came across the border. Okay? But we cannot afford to build the wall. Makes you kind of pissy about these people, if you ask me. So this is how the Republican, McCain, of course, now he's not really a Republican. He's the best damn Democrat I ever seen. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that Trump says that is going to be he's going to put the kibosh on if they won't do is the wall. He is putting this bill out, him and Coons, and it will not fund the wall. So this bill is going to be dead on arrival as far as Trump is concerned, because if it were to pass or the House and the Senate, he's going to say nay, nay. He's going to veto it.
Well, and
now,
they don't care if he vetoes it because they don't care about the DACA kids. They only care about the issue. And the issue to them is trying to make conservatives look like mean, horrible people that don't want to have compassion for anybody. That's all they care about. So they want to keep this thing going.
Well, tell me something. Now, I know the liberals where I work at, they're kind of quiet right now because there's nothing for them to say. I mean, really, my liberals are liberals, but they're rational enough to realize they're getting their butts whooped right now. So they're kind of laying low. What about the liberals in your office area?
Are you asking on this issue or just in general?
Well, kind of this issue and also in general, because you're in the belly of the beast.
Most of them are ignorant on the issues, but they're good at repeating what they're told. So, if the liberals tell them to say, "Oh, you're mean and you won't help DACA kids," that's what they'll say, and you'll say, "Well, what do you mean by that?" They'll be like, "I don't know."
By the way, you know that little post that you put up, prepperforms.net?
Oh, about the liberals that I asked?
Yeah. And by the way, this is plug time. At prepperforms.net, that's where we get together and we talk about the end of the world or whatever. It's just lights going out for a few days or months, whatever. Sasquatch posted something about interaction with, and Sass never talks to liberals because it gives them a headache. Migraines are not fun. But he did ask some questions. And do you remember those questions you asked him?
You know what? Stall for a second and I'll see if I can find it.
Okay. You know what? If you can't, I can pull up, because scan to computer is no longer activated. I don't know why. I just had a pop up on my computer over there. I will go to our website, Denton and Sasquatch.com. Did you people know we have a website now? Denton and Sasquatch.com.
We do.
We are uptown. Now, I can see we have an update. I'm going to ignore that.
Nothing like doing business on the air.
I'm going to click on. Okay. I'm going to read you what you wrote.
Oh, okay. I couldn't find it, so go ahead. Yeah.
My scientific experiment today. Since I live in the liberal utopia of California and work mostly with liberals, I decided to, for the sake of science, to wade into liberal waters and ask a few of them, 3 to be exact, about the memo released today. That would be the Nunez memo. Here are my findings. Question 1. What do you think about the memo released today? Lib 1. What memo? Lib 2. What memo? Lib 3. Dude, what memo? Question 2. The memo released from the House Intelligence Committee about the FBI DOJ using false information to obtain FISA warrants. Oh, no way. Really? What memo? Never heard of it. What's a FISA? Question 3. The memo basically says the Russian investigation was started with, I think Bill Wright's going to kick my ass tomorrow. I just said Russian. The memo basically says the Russian investigation was started with false information given by members of the FBI DOJ. What do you think about that? Lib 1. Some people need to go to jail if that's the case. Lib 2. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to politics. Lib 3, which, by the way, Lib 2, you don't pay attention to politics, but you know what needs to be done. What? Really? Lib 3. Oh, that's right. They feel. Lib 3, well, Russia meddling in our elections is not a good thing, unless it's through Hillary Clinton, of course. Question 4. How do you tie your own shoes every morning? Lib 1. F off. Fly off. Fornicate off. Fry off. What is F? Anyway, Lib 2. Confused look and blank stare. I know that. Lib 3. Trump should be impeached for what he's done. Question 5. Only to Lib 3. What stuff's Trump done? Lib 3. The Russia stuff. And storms off. I normally refuse to talk politics at work, and you can probably see why. But I decided to do this so you can see what I'm dealing with. What we are dealing with are useful idiots. What is liberal politicians counting on? Useful idiots.
That was quite fun asking them.
Did you actually ask these people this?
Yes, I did.
Now, so you outed yourself by asking that.
No, I didn't say whether it was good, whether it was bad. I just asked what they thought of it. And that's,
if somebody says F off, they have a clue where you're going.
Well, no, like the first person. Okay, I asked the first person because it's a guy that I work pretty closely with, and you know, I get along with him all right, so I can mess around with him a little bit. That's why he said F off to me. But I just asked him out of the blue. I just say, hey, what do you think of this memo thing? And he's like, what memo? And right then it hit me. I'm like, okay, I got to ask some people because apparently they have no clue what's going on.
But they vote.
But they do vote. They vote with their feelings.
We have no chance.
You know what else we don't have?
What?
Time.
We got to go.
Yep.
That's a shame because I wanted to launch off in that article that I sent to you about the state of California politically.
Well, we'll save it for the next time.
Well, look here. You can find us at prepperforms.net. Or if you want to go straight to the source and just kind of hang out there. And plus, you can also comment on our stupidity there. You can go to what is it, Denton and Sass Show or Sasquatch?
The email is dentonandsasshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the Denton and Sass Show at gmail.com. But the website is standby. It's so new that I can't remember the name of it.
Denton and Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.com.
It's like stereo.
Well, look here. I know this is kind of oddball that we did this on Monday. I just got home. Sasquatch has been patiently waiting at the door for me to come in.
Yes, like a trusted dog.
Yeah, and finally I did come in from work. We were just too damn tired to do it yesterday. So here we are today. Maybe we'll do it again this week. Maybe it'll be this coming Sunday. And if it is a Sunday, I've got a friend that's going to be on as a guest speaker. He is a black man who is a Republican, a conservative. Anyway, Sasquatch, as far as I can tell, we are so freaking doomed. It's not even funny. So what should we do?
I say we drink up.
Good night, everybody.